check them out. Let's talk about Ninja Turtles. All right, fair enough, right? So we'll start it off with the Shredder. And of course, the Shredder comes with a number of different accessories, like his sword and sheath. Really nicely done. The sword goes into sheath. Can't complain. And he holds it very nicely. It's always cool to see Shredder. It's cool to see the movie figures do stuff that wasn't really in the movie. You know what I mean? Necker does a good job of bringing that to life. You can do whatever you want now at this point. But like I said, you simply sheath the sword and you're good to go. You get the big battle weapon right here, which is whatever you want to call it. But just go easy on it. You don't want to ever want to snap it or something like that. It is a little bit brittle, let's be honest. But again, like the sword, Shredder definitely does hold it well. And it's fun, right? Look at him having a blast, raising that thing above his head. But yeah, just go easy on it. It's kind of like a Predator weapon. You know what I'm talking about. TGRI canister, not a TCRI. Even as a kid, watching that movie, I was like, wait a minute, right? It's painted okay. It's got a couple blemishes here and there. Shredder doesn't necessarily come with exact hands to hold it, but he's got the open hands, and it does the trick. I don't know why that looks cool. It just does. And then you have the mutated flowers, right? Of course, you get one of them. Nicely done, nicely painted. Very hand sculpted. I like all the different sculpted line works in there. It's very cool. It's got some nice paint to it. And just like every other weapon and accessory, Shredder holds it nicely when he's just staring at it. But you see all the lines and detail? That's hand sculpted. That's really cool. I'm glad NECA does that. Still, you get the vial right there with the green in it. It's okay. I mean, it works for what it is. I'm not really nitpicking or saying much about it. It just is, right? Just green, and there you go. He comes with a bunch of extra hands. Open hand, fisted hand. You get the idea. And Shredder himself, yeah, he looks pretty dang cool. Now, I got to tell you all day, I think I have enough Shredders at this point, but this is one I don't have technically in this suit, and he's got a really nice cape, and it's not bendy wire, unfortunately, but it's a nice drapery cape. I'll give it to him all day. I really like the colors on the Shredder. It's definitely different from the first movie. You can pull his little face mask off or down if you want to see the face underneath with all the scratches from the landfill, or yeah, you know, however he survived, who knows at this point. But yeah, it is kind of sharing some things here and there with the first movie Ninja Turtle Shredder, right? As he should, but in different colors, exact articulation that you would expect. Go really easy. Not to say on the articulation, I have to say it's really nice that everything moves, nothing you have to heat up, which is awesome. Just go easy on where all the spikes and such are. You don't want to just like accidentally push it or grab one. You know what I mean? The cape is removable. It simply just has a little twisty tie kind of thing that you remove, and bingo bango, yeah, you can do all that non-caped Shredder goodness from the second movie. Kind of like him with the cape, kind of like him without the cape. But in either case, with all the weapons and accessories and everything else, it's a pretty solid Shredder. I'm sure you guys came here for the Ninja Turtles, and these ones being specifically from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. And yes, they have done a great job in recreating all the faces from that movie, right? You remember those. Comes with extra hands. You got finger pointed. You got grabbing hands, pizza holding hands. You get the idea. 2 slices of pizza right here, nicely done. One of them's got a hole through it. I'm sure you could put, I don't know, Raph's sigh through it. That totally works. Got a little cheese falling off the side. I just like the attention to detail that they do at NECA Toys. And yes, this is no exception right here. So it works and functions appropriately. It looks like a piece of pizza. Good job. You also got some half-eaten slices, which is equally as good. Nicely sculpted, nicely painted. You get yet another TGRI canister. This one's a little bit more scuffed up on the paint. Could have been painted better, just saying. But Raphael, if I can say anything, just like I said about the very first Ninja Turtle movie that they did with all the figures, these look like miniaturized people in the suits. They have nailed it. You have the size right in front with the weapons storage. The sides are painted nicely, some silver and some brown. They're sculpted nice. They simply go right in there, and I absolutely love that. The green, the look, he's got peg holes on the bottom. Now, I'll show you, this is a little bit of a different sculpt from the first movie Turtles. I'll show you all that towards the end of the video. But nice face portrait for Raph, and they gave a gloss to the eyes and makes them look alive. It's amazing. I love what they did here. Same thing with Leonardo. Now, they all basically share the same basic body, which I'll show you one of the articulation. You get it. Just apply that to all 4 turtles. On all 4 turtles, though, sometimes with the belts, they're a little bit crooked. You kind of have to reposition them. If that's the least of my problems with any time with toys, it's okay. You can reposition it. Yada, yada. But the browns are nice. The greens, everything looks great. He's got his swords that simply sheath onto the back, which you'd expect for Leonardo when he's going up against the Shredder. And again, even though they really didn't use their weapons, you know what I mean, in the second movie where they were kind of like... The first movie is like the old Mirage comic. The second movie is like the cartoon version, only live action. You know what I mean? So I got a little bit more cartoony, but you get the idea. You can do all the different stuff that you wanted to do that the movie didn't do because of these NECA figures. Now, with the heads, they simply rotate left and right. I wish they went up a little bit more, but they sure as heck go down a whole heck of a lot. So at least it does that, but I do wish that they could look up more. You got this little bit of a rock right here. You can twist and turn it. Just watch the bandanas, just saying that. They're a little bit stiff. You do have double jointed elbows, but then they kind of only go that much. You got the wrists. And I'll tell you again, across the board, Turtles and Shredder, unlike the first round of the first movie Turtles that NECA did, these ones are pretty solid in the articulation, and I did not have to heat up, nor am I going to say that I was really nervous about any of the articulation going south. With Donatello and Michelangelo, it's going to be more of the same. You got the same exact articulation. You have a couple extra hands here and there. You can swap these between every single turtle, so it's not just made for one in particular. You got the same type of pizza. You got the pizza with the hole in it for wraps, so you can have 2. You got the pizza crusts. Donatello staring at it. Donatello in the second movie, even as a kid, I don't know why it bothered me. So it was such a deviation from the first. This is cool. You get an empty TGRI can. I just wish you could like break it apart, you know what I mean? Kind of put it back together. You got the meat nunchucks, right, from the movie. Michelangelo's having a ball swinging around his meat. You get the idea, right? It's from the movie. It's swinging meat. I don't know why anybody's cringing right now. Whatever. But they are nicely done, right? It's funny. It's good for what they are. Little meats on a string, and then you got the little bopper bat thing from the movie that Donatello uses. And again, that's pretty cool to see. The attention to detail, the weirdo accessories, that's perfect for what NECA does. It looks and feels like it could be squishy. It's not really squishy, but yeah, they did a good job. And then with this accessory, forearm, I was like, what the heck is this for? Is this like a mistake? It has a purpose. I'll tell you about it in just a few. Looking at Michelangelo, that is an amazing head portrait. And just like I said, they put this gloss in the eyes. They make it look like they're alive, right? That is so cool. He's having fun. I love that. He's got some weapon storage from his nunchucks as well. They're a bit on a bendy wire, we'll just say, but they're nicely done. And of course, he's got the little holders right there on the side, and they simply just pour it in. And bingo bango, you got some really cool weapon storage on either side. And Mikey, again, just like the other turtles, same exact articulation, the green, the peg holes, the shell, everything. It's just swapping out different belts, accessories, the head portrait. You get the idea by now. Donatello, same exact deal right there. And that head portrait, man, they nailed it. As funky as that looks in the movie, they nailed that Donatello right there. Can't say that's my favorite look for Donatello. Corey Feldman's Donatello was the best. And of course, on the back side, you get to see the bow staff will simply slide right in there. Nicely done bow staff. Nice and long. Fits perfectly for the figure. You don't really have to mess with these 2 little ribbons right here on the back. They simply just come right out of the box, so you can slip the bow staff in. And as long as you don't really touch them, you should be good to go. But man, oh man, that's great. Now, talking about that forearm business, right? Well, remember in the movie, he's got the watch, right? That quick joke and such. So you can, if you don't want the watch, you simply pull off the forearm, swap it with the other forearm, and reattach the hand, and then you can have a standard Donatello if you wanted to do that, right? And just so you're aware, right? You have the first movie, Ninja Turtles, second movie, and you got that wackadoo concert series, right? So you can swap the heads and such if you want, if you've got the accessory pack from the first movie. I mean, you could put this head on that. I mean, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to do. But in looking at the differences and the similarities between the first and now the second movie releases, you can tell the shells are a little bit different. The legs may be a little bit different. There's some reuse here and there, but I like the fact that it's so different that you can't really just tell right off the bat. You kind of think, okay, it looks similar, but the costumes and the suits were different from the first to the second movie. So I like that change. I like that difference. But still, they're two great looking figures. Figures from the past mingling with the figures of the second movie. Yeah, you can totally do that too. I wouldn't put it past him to make a Secret of the Ooze Splinter, of course. But you get the idea. You can use him as well. Same thing with April O'Neil and Casey Jones. I know it's the wrong actress from movie 1 to movie 2. I get it. But I kind of like Judith Hoag more. Yeah, it's just, that's the classic movie to me. Secret of the Ooze, you know what I mean? It's fun, but the first one was the vastly superior movie. Right, Hosebrain? And if you're wondering in terms of shredders, well, you got regular Orokusaki, you got movie shredders 1 and 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm shredded out at this point. I got a lot of shredders based off the movie. I don't really know how many more they can do variation-wise. I mean, you can go crazy and do something wackadoo, but I mean, they're all pretty solid shredders from Oroku to regular shredder. And then you have Super Shredder as well. I have 3 Super Shredders, just FYI. This crazy guy right here, you got the disco version, and then you got like the more black-caped version. But yeah, I think we're good on shredders and Super Shredders. But I mean, they're all great in their own respects, of course. The only downside, I think, is Danny from the recent NECA Toys Loot Crate box sets. The first figure, he's just entirely too small. So I think he's the bottom of the barrel for movie figures in regards to Ninja Turtles. Now, here's from bottom of the barrel to cream of the crop. You have Toka and Razar, and those are amazing figures. They're babies, but man, oh man, are they great. Shredder just is looking at us like, are they behind me? God, I can't get rid of these guys. And yes, Toka and Razar, the Ninja Turtles, the Shredder, everybody and anything, except for Danny, fits in scale-wise with all the Turtles and respective movie figures and yada yada. And NECA has just done a fantastic job bringing this world to life. So that's going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Walmart exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze Shredder and the 2 Turtles 2-packs by NECA Toys. And you've heard my thoughts, and now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Ninja Turtles. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, I'm curious to see where they take the Ninja Turtle movie line. I know there's a few more characters they can do, but hey, later down the road, I really wouldn't mind seeing like the Mutanimals or other Ninja Turtle characters movie-fied, right? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And when we do, let me know what you found.